Clogged arteries don't just happen because you ate a cheeseburger on a Tuesday. Most people think clearing your arteries means committing to a strict diet. Go vegan, keto, Mediterranean, and for the first few weeks, it feels great. You feel disciplined. But within a month, the cravings win, the diet collapses, and your arteries are no better than when you started. Most people think this is a willpower problem. It is not. Here is the truth. Your arteries do not care about your diet label. This is not about restriction or discipline. It is about understanding the mechanism, using the right foods, and cutting out the specific things that are silently rebuilding plaque every single day. And some of those things, they are sitting in your kitchen right now, proudly wearing a heart-healthy label. If you've been worried about your heart health, I want you to take a deep breath. By the end of this video, you aren't just going to have a list of good foods. You're going to understand the exact 5-step biological framework used to dismantle plaque. I've spent hundreds of hours analyzing clinical research, from the Predimed study to the latest trials on arterial calcification, to bring you a protocol that actually works. To fix the problem, you first need to see it clearly. Your arteries have an inner lining that is only 1 cell thick. It is incredibly fragile. And when blood sugar spikes repeatedly, when stress hormones are constantly high, that lining gets tiny microscopic scratches on it. Think of it like a paper cut on the inside of a pipe. Bad cholesterol slips right into those cracks and gets trapped. Then, like a piece of iron left out in the rain, that trapped cholesterol begins to rust. Your immune system panics and sends in cleanup cells to fix it. But those cells swallow so much of the toxic, rusted cholesterol that they swell up, get stuck, die, and pile up. Over years, this pile hardens into what we call plaque. The scariest part? You can have serious plaque buildup with 0 symptoms, none, until one day, a chunk of that unstable plaque breaks off and causes a sudden heart attack or stroke with absolutely no warning. So the fix needs to work on every single step. Block new cholesterol from entering, stop the rust already building inside the walls, widen the vessels, rebuild the damaged tissue, and finally, pull the hardened debris out. Here is how you do all of that. Let's start with the foods that literally starve plaque at the source. Nature gave us a biological cheat code called plant sterols. These are compounds found in walnuts, pumpkin seeds, lentils, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. On a molecular level, they look almost identical to human cholesterol, and that is exactly what makes them so powerful. When you eat plant sterols, they race into your gut and steal all the absorption spots before the dangerous cholesterol from your food can grab them. Think of it like a game of musical chairs, where plant sterols are the aggressive seat stealers. Because they take every spot, the bad cholesterol gets flushed out of your system as waste. It never even reaches your bloodstream. But the real magic happens in your liver. Your liver is the master thermostat for your blood cholesterol. When it senses that less cholesterol is coming in from your gut, it compensates by ramping up its LDL receptors, turning on a powerful internal vacuum that sucks the dangerous, floating cholesterol right out of your blood. A massive clinical review in the British Journal of Nutrition found that consistent plant sterol intake drops LDL by up to 12% without a single drug. Fewer dangerous particles circulating means fewer chances of them crashing into your artery walls and starting that catastrophic chain reaction. That handles the new, incoming cholesterol. But we have to stop right here, because before anything else works, there is one thing you must cut out first, and it is probably in your kitchen right now. The absolute fastest way to destroy your artery lining is not red meat. It is not butter. It is hidden sugars and processed carbohydrates, specifically the ones wearing a heart-healthy disguise. We are not talking about obvious junk food like donuts and soda. We are talking about agave nectar, sweetened oat milks, commercial granola bars, baked veggie chips, and 100% natural, cold-pressed, organic fruit juice. Foods that millions of people consume every single day, believing they are protecting their heart. When you eat these, your blood sugar spikes. That extra sugar turns into molecules called AGEs. Think of them like tiny shards of glass flowing through your blood. They scratch and rip the inside of your arteries, creating the paper cuts where plaque starts to grow. Even 100% fruit juice does this. Without the fiber to slow it down, the sugar hits your liver in a massive flood. This forces your body to make the small, sticky kind of cholesterol that causes blockages. Cutting these disguised sugars is the foundation. Adding every right food while keeping these in your diet is like filling a bathtub with the drain open. You will never get ahead. Now, with that foundation locked in, let's neutralize the damage already building inside your walls. Once a cholesterol particle is trapped in your artery wall, it only becomes truly dangerous when it oxidizes, when it rusts. To stop and reverse this, you need specific compounds that hunt down and neutralize the molecules causing that rust. The best ones are the deep, dark pigments found in blackberries, wild blueberries, dark cherries, and red cabbage. These act like biological bounty hunters. They track down the unstable, destructive molecules causing oxidative damage and neutralize them before they can harden the trapped cholesterol. A long-term clinical trial in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating these berries daily actually helps shrink physical plaque from the inside out. Right alongside dark berries is raw garlic. When you crush, chew, or chop raw garlic, it releases a powerful compound called allicin. Allicin specifically targets the most dangerous type of plaque, the soft, unstable kind that is prone to suddenly breaking off and causing a blockage. It stabilizes that plaque structurally so it cannot rupture and travel to your heart or brain. And one more that almost nobody talks about, pomegranate. One of the only long-term clinical trials to measure actual physical plaque shrinkage found that patients who consumed pomegranate daily showed a real, measurable reduction in artery plaque thickness over 3 years. Pomegranate contains some of the most powerful antioxidants ever studied, ones that can actually recharge other antioxidants in your body after they have already been used up. With these three working together, you are not just preventing new damage, you are actively shrinking what is already there. But even if you shrink the rust, you still have a narrowed pipe. Blood is still struggling to push through. To fix that, you need to physically open the vessels themselves. Your arteries are not rigid, fixed pipes. They are muscular tubes designed to constantly expand and contract. And the key to forcing them wide open is a signaling gas called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide tells the muscles wrapped around your arteries to simply relax. This widens the channel, drops blood pressure, and stops the physical friction of blood scraping against narrowed, damaged walls. The best way to flood your body with nitric oxide is by eating raw beets, arugula, Swiss chard, and spinach. When you chew these foods, good bacteria on your tongue and your stomach acid work together to convert them into a surge of nitric oxide within minutes. A landmark study from Queen Mary University of London gave patients with high blood pressure just 1 cup of beetroot juice a day. Within hours, blood pressure dropped significantly and artery stiffness measurably decreased, almost matching the effect of standard prescription medications. Here is a bonus most people never hear: high percentage dark chocolate, 85% or above. The specific compounds in dark chocolate trigger nitric oxide production through a completely separate biological pathway directly inside your artery cells. A review of 20 clinical trials found that regular dark chocolate consumption significantly improves artery function and reduces stiffness. Wide, relaxed arteries stop accumulating daily mechanical damage. But to truly rebuild the actual structural tissue of the artery wall itself, you need the right raw materials. You cannot build a healthy, resilient artery wall without the right fats. Not cutting fat, the right fat. Omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, are completely non-negotiable here. Found in cold water fatty fish like wild-caught salmon, mackerel, herring, and sardines. Omega-3s physically weave themselves into your cell membranes, right into the walls of your arteries at the cellular level. This makes the tissue highly flexible and resistant to inflammation. They also suppress the chemical signals that tell your immune system to keep attacking the plaque. The GISI trial tracked over 11,000 patients who had already survived a heart attack. High-dose EPA and DHA drastically reduced the risk of a second cardiovascular event. not by clearing arteries outright, but by chemically stabilizing existing plaques so they could not rupture. Add high-quality extra virgin olive oil, and you get a compound called oleocanthal that works almost identically to ibuprofen, naturally calming the localized inflammation inside your blood vessels without the side effects. These fats give your body the exact building materials it needs to continuously patch and rebuild the micro tears in your arterial lining. Now, for the final stage, the one most people never reach, actively pulling hardened, calcified plaque out of the arterial wall itself. Diet changes your blood chemistry, but to physically clear calcified plaque, you need two things working together: the right movement and a vitamin most people have never heard of. When you combine steady cardio with resistance training, your heart pumps harder for extended periods. This increased blood flow creates healthy friction against your artery walls, and this friction is actually a powerful biological signal. It forces your artery cells to produce their own antioxidants and structural nitric oxide. Clinical research found this literally trains blood vessels to stay wide and flexible, even when you are sitting completely still. To accelerate the actual calcium clearing, you need vitamin K2, found in fermented foods like natto, pasture-raised egg yolks, and aged hard cheeses. Think of K2 as a biological traffic cop for calcium. Plaque becomes dangerously hard because rogue calcium deposits itself directly into your artery walls over time. K2 activates a specific protein that grabs that stray calcium, pulls it out of your arteries, and redirects it straight into your bones and teeth where it actually belongs. The Rotterdam study, one of the largest European cardiovascular studies ever done, found that people with the highest K2 intake had a massive reduction in severe artery calcification and significantly lower rates of dying from cardiovascular disease. Pair K2-rich foods with consistent exercise, and you create an internal environment where plaque simply cannot harden, and where your body is actively clearing what is already there. Your arteries are not a passive victim of your age or genetics. They respond with remarkable speed to the exact signals you send them every single day through food and movement. Stop chasing a diet label. Use plant sterols to block new cholesterol from entering. Cut the disguised sugars, acting like glass shards on your artery walls. Eat dark berries, raw garlic, and pomegranate to neutralize the rust already inside. Widen your vessels with nitrate-rich greens and dark chocolate. Rebuild the tissue with omega-3s and extra virgin olive oil. And activate the cleanup crew, vitamin K2 and consistent exercise to pull the hardened debris out for good. If this broke something down in a way that actually made sense, hit the like button. It genuinely helps. And drop a comment below telling me which one of these are you starting with first.